Okay, so if I were president of the United States, which that will not happen until the 2040s, but if I were to be president in if I were to be president of the United States, one of the first few things I would do is try to update the 22nd Amendment. I'm trying to update the 22nd Amendment, which so the 22nd Amendment is basically like it, the 22nd Amendment doesn't allow presidents to go more than 2 terms, and uh, there's been presidents that tried to update it, like Ronald Reagan. He tried to update it, but it didn't work. And uh, then there's Harry Truman. I think he's the one who made the fucking amendment, and then which it says here Harry Truman, 1950s, and it says he called the amendment stupid, but withdrew from the 1952 race after poor primary results. And uh, then it says, and Lyndon B. Johnson in the 1960s, he faced poor poll numbers and dropped out, but some believe the amendment's exceptions could have allowed him to run another term. So what that means with Lyndon B. Johnson is that LBJ uh, filled in for Kennedy's term after Kennedy was assassinated in '63, and uh, then um, then Johnson ran from November 22nd of 1963 to to January 20th, uh, 1969. So that means the LBJ spent 5 years and 5 years, 1 month, and 29 days in office, or 1,886 days in office. So LBJ could have ran for another term, but uh, but really it's allowed 2 terms or to 8 years. Uh, yeah, the 22nd Amendment is the United States to limit the number of persons elected to office to 2 terms. Yeah, so yeah, so I think since LBJ kind of did run for 2 terms in my opinion, but but uh, I'd say if he, I don't know what to say about that, but I update the 22nd Amendment to say that the max number of terms that a president can run, which you know, I'd keep the 2 term limit, but but whether but I'd update to where the president can run for more than 2 terms if the United States is in war. And however long if the United States is in, like, let's say the president was already in the second term when war breaks out, then they could run for more than 2 terms. But uh, but if a president wanted to run for more than 2 terms, if there was no war, then Uh, I'm not saying they should start war, but I have it to where they can run for 3 terms. That's it. The minimum's 2 terms. The max is 3. Because I I was gonna say go like 4 terms, but then it'd be like, you know, whatever. It'd be 3 to 4 terms as the max, and then uh, and then it's like, you know, if you want to run for more than 2 terms, go ahead. But if 4 is gonna be the limit, but like let's say you're like FDR, okay, and you're in the let's say the United States gets into war, okay, and you're already in your second year in your second term, then I'd say you could, if you're gonna run for president during however long the war lasts, then stay president for as long as the war lasts. It's like with FDR, he was not considering running a third term because a third term because, well, probably because, more than likely because, like, he didn't want to break the 2 term tradition. But, well, like, by 1939 World War II was already broken out, and he was like, you know what, I'm just gonna run for a third term just to try and help him, like, America get through this, and just in case. Then, what do you know? 1940, he gets elected, and in 1941, Japan bombs us, and then he helped us through the war. But so I update the 22nd Amendment to make it go through that. So